Won back well by Phillips, and Bamford could be through here. He's played in Rafinha! And what a response that is from Leeds United. Under pressure at one end, they break at the other, and Rafinha makes Fulham pay.
Rafinha with the winner, Patrick Bamford with the opener for Leeds, his 14th of the season. He's with Patrick Davison.
Well, Patrick, firstly, how are you? Because we watched you hobble over and you always put a shift in, but it feels like tonight's been particularly hard on your body.
Yeah, I think that, to be honest, the lads deserve a lot of credit because they had to do a lot of my running tonight because I was struggling a bit from the get-go. So they probably had to put more in than they were used to, and I was kind of just trying to help as much as I could. But yeah, I knew it was just a matter of time as how long I could last, and fortunately I got 76 minutes before legs packed in.
Well done. Look, it's a night where you've shown your quality. Most importantly, I suppose, it's a night where Leeds have won. Deserved winners, would you say, given the balance of it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that for the majority we controlled the game. There was obviously spells where we lost the ball or the football was going to and from each team, and that was just being sloppy, I think. We created a lot of chances, probably could have been more. I mean, I'm not sure about... I haven't seen the VAR goals, so I don't know if they were close or not, but apart from them, we created good chances as well. So I think the result was fair. I mean, Fulham, they're a lot better team than when we played them the last time round, and to be honest, they'll definitely be fighting, and I think that they might get out.
Just feel wrong, the joy that is sort of taken away for Luke?
It is, especially...
You got his hair out and everything, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit biased because I'm a striker, but I think the game's about scoring goals. And I think as soon as you start taking that away, and at the minute it seems to be taking more away than it's giving, I think it kind of sucks the life a bit out of the game. And I guess in a good way, there's no fans here to kind of have to sit through it and wait because it'll make it even worse. But I'm not completely sold on it at the minute, I've got to be honest.
What about your goal? Alan Smith said in commentary, it's the sort of goal that a striker really loves because you get across your man, it's a lovely crisp finish.
Yeah, I think it was a crisp finish straight off my shin.
Oh, was it?
It was
You're too honest, Patrick.
It was around there. I mean, it went where I meant it to go, but yeah, I should have, to be honest, I should have scored earlier on in the game. I just heard Tyler call and for some reason I back-heeled it, which was crazy. So I was kicking myself.
Too unselfish.
Yeah, I was kicking myself for that. So I should have shot then, and then it was nice. The first goal was important tonight.
And the assist is the key to that, just the weight of pass, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, to be honest, I tried to play it actually as close to the defender as possible because I knew that then I knew Rafa would get there because he's quick and lively, and if the defender dangled his leg, it was a penalty. So Rafa still had a lot of work to do, to be fair, because he wasn't in a great position to finish it, but he's got great quality and he stuck it away.
Overall then, what have the last couple of days been like for you? I'm sure you expected me to ask, but you get the name check from the England manager, but not quite that place in the squad that you would have loved.
Yeah, I think that every player who gets called up fully deserves it. I think there's a lot of people who probably thought they might get called up and are slightly disappointed at the news. But for me, I've just got to keep doing what I'm doing, really, and try and keep working and see if I can put my name in contention for Euros. As long as I keep going the way I am, I think that I might be in with a shot, and who knows, just got to keep working hard for the club.
Does knowing you're that close make it harder to take or easier?
No, to be honest, I said it before, at the start of the season, if you'd have told me you're going to be linked with England, I'd have said you're bonkers. So I think that I've come a long way, and I can't really be too upset because it's something that I was never dreaming of at the start of the season. So I think there's one of them things that I keep working towards it, and if it comes, it comes. If not, then I'll know I've done my best.
It was part of it tonight, thinking, right, respond.
It was in the back of my mind a little bit, I guess. I was just trying to get through as much of the game as I could because I was struggling. But yeah, there's always gives you a little bit extra fire in your belly, I guess.
I'll stop badgering you. Well played.
Thanks. Cheers.
You were sort of talking about that sort of not being picked for England as a kind of disappointment for Patrick Bamford. Really, it's about progress, and it's about getting closer to his goals. His 14th of the season for Leeds opener. Special, isn't it? It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And Patrick's one of the first people, as he mentioned there. He takes it all in his stride. And if somebody had been talking to him at the beginning of the season, explaining to him, look, you're going to be linked with the England role for the Euros or whatnot, he said, you're ludicrous. You know, you have to look at everything that he's done so far, though, for the club. 14 goals already in the Premier League in his first season there. Movement on this one. Great shin, as you mentioned there. Chris finish off his shin, he said.
But that's exactly what you want from your strikers, you know, Gareth Southgate's going to be watching that saying, do you know what? He's another step closer to possibly the Euros. If he keeps himself fit, keeps getting in those positions, keeps his build-up play and link-up play work to a high standard, why not? There's only, I think we discussed it off air, Harry Kane's the only other English player to score more goals than Patrick Bamford this season in the Premier League. So for me, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, that's why it's taken him to the very edges of the England squad. While Leeds' capabilities are there for all to see, their frailties have been evident this season as well in terms of their vulnerability from corners, and this is another one.
It is, yeah. Disappointing again for Leeds to concede from a set play. You know, we said at half-time, just really out-muscled. Anderson was physically a bit stronger than Luke Ayling, sticks the leg out and makes good contact. And when you make good contact from that sort of distance, it more than likely ends up in the back of the net.
Fulham had really good chances of their own. Again, it's been converting chances that's been an issue for them. Ademola Lookman has this opportunity at 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the chances in the first half, and then this one, yeah, I mean, he just completely, I don't know, he takes his eye off the ball, he's distracted by the defender.
And then within 27 seconds...
Yeah, it just shows you, you know, Fulham are where they are because of the inconsistencies they've had throughout the course of the season. And there's defensive frailties there. Yes, they've only conceded, what's that, 38 goals now this season. But you can see on both the goals tonight, really disappointing. That on an instance again, Tosin involved, not making that last-ditch challenge, that tackle that he should be doing as a centre-half. You need him at that stage. He tries to go with his right foot, some would say wrong foot, and I think it's pretty right. He needs to get on the ground and make that block.
Yeah, an assist and a goal in the match from Patrick Bamford, but Raphinha with the goal itself. And like you said, maybe the defender could have done a bit more with that, but still a good finish from Raphinha, who had an all-round good game.
Yeah, I think so. Poor defending, as you mentioned. Yeah, I know. We're getting used to saying this about him. He's so exciting. His set-piece delivery is very, very good. He's electric, very, very lively, I think Patrick Bamford called him as well. Deadly in front of goal, very good finisher. But I like the confidence that he plays with. He plays with no restrictions, you know, and naturally that's going to draw fouls and free kicks against him. This one here frustrated me because if I'm in that situation, that position, I'm going for goal. You've got to get a shot on target. But I can't fault the guy. I think he's brilliant. His link-up play here, perfectly timed pass for Stuart Dallas. Very unlucky not to hit the target there. I think that's what you need. You need bare minimum is to hit the target. It was unfortunate, but look, the stats kind of speak for themselves. He's been a phenomenon since he signed for Leeds, and I'm just buzzing. He's wearing the white shirt at Leeds United, honestly.
Although not the white shirt this evening.
Well, he's wearing Leeds United's crest. I loved it.
Right, we will be reflecting on this match from Fulham's perspective because it was a real mixed opportunity for Scott Parker's side to move out of the relegation places. We'll hear from him next.
On a big night for you, what did you make of what you got from your players?
I was disappointed tonight. Disappointed. We didn't deserve nothing from the game really, and the best team won tonight. To be honest with you, so yeah, I thought game started and I thought we huffed and puffed and probably was a little bit fortunate to go in at 1-1. In saying that, second half then comes along and you miss a massive chance just before then they go and score. I think it's 20 seconds after and they go and score. But I think it's fair to say best team won tonight, and we struggled at times tonight, and that was disappointing.
You talked beforehand about the importance of coping with their intensity. Did you feel like you did that?
No, we didn't do that well enough. We didn't do that well enough. But the way Leeds played, they make the game like that. They make the game end to end. They want the game to be like a basketball match. We spoke about having cool heads in their moments, you know, obviously getting some control. And I know it's easier said than done, of course it is. But we struggled with that at times tonight, definitely did. And I've stood here many a times during this season after a draw or after a loss and said, you know what, we played really well. I don't think that was the case tonight. And we, yeah, like I said, probably didn't deserve much from the game.
And yet, is there that feeling of what might have been big chance actually at 0-0 and a massive chance before they scored the winner?
Well, you're always in a game with Leeds. You're always in the game. they score goals and put you under pressure like we see tonight, but you always have a chance because of the way they play. So of course that was the case. But yeah, look, I think my resigning factor, like I said, overall is disappointing. It's not something which we've come to see in terms of our performance tonight. In terms of a desire and a work ethic, it was there, but we just fell short at certain moments.
Why do you think you fell short then? Because that really is not something you've been able to say, maybe since the early weeks of the season.
Well, I think the residing factor is probably the way that Leeds play. The way that Leeds play in terms of the man-for-man out of possession, the game became too erratic, and you're playing against a team that want the game to be like that. They're the best at it in terms of physicality in this division. They're probably right up there, and you can't afford the game to become like. You need to make good decisions under stress. You need to make them good decisions, and I just felt we didn't, under stress at them moments, we didn't make good decisions really, and that's the reason.
Well, what's the thinking with bringing Mitrovic on? Was set pieces always a likely avenue for you?
Set plays were, and that proved that I thought first half we caused them problems. Goal come from that. Had another chance as well, I remember Madja. And in terms of the first half, I didn't think we got a real control the way I'd wanted us to. So at that moment now, you need to go a little bit longer, and felt that Mitrovic was that guy what could give us a little bit of a platform up top and get runners off him.
All season long, really, the home form has not quite matched what you've done away. 3 games left here, and with respect to the opponents, they're potentially winnable games. Is Craven Cottage now the key for you?
Yes, it's the key. Of course it is. There's 8 games left, but also the away form, and we've been very good. We've got 8 games now, 8 finals. Teams in and around us. We've put ourselves in a great position. Of course we have. Very disappointed with tonight, but as always, like most times this year, this is a little blip. Of course it is. We've had many blips at the start of the season, midway through the season. We just hit a blip tonight. We regroup and we come back fighting like we have done for the majority of this year.
Bit of a job for you just to restore that momentum that has felt like it's been with you for a while now?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, big job in terms of everyone, players as well. This is part and parcel of the Premier League, and if you have your off days in the Premier League, or you have a dip in performance or and stuff like that, you get punished, and we see that tonight. Like I said, we was well worthy of nothing from this game, and the best team won tonight. And sometimes, as frustrating as hurt. As much as I'm hurt to say that, that's the cold hard fact of tonight's game. We need to work out where it went wrong and go again from there.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers, Patrick. Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Well, Scott Parker said a couple of times there he thought Leeds were by far the better team. Fulham didn't deserve anything from the game. Do you agree with him? Is that the game that you saw?
No, I don't agree with him. I actually think Leeds played the better football, no doubt about it. They more often than not, they controlled the game. They played their way at times. They were hustling, bustling Fulham. They did put them off their game. I think the frustration is that Fulham didn't play their normal way. Their nice football, control the game for larger moments of the game. But actually, they had really good chances. And I think a draw would have even been a pretty fair result. Either side could have won. Leeds in the end won it. They took their chances more so than Fulham. But to say that they didn't deserve anything, I don't agree with that.
Is this why Scott Parker said he talked to the players about having cool heads in big moments?
Yeah, I think he's more emotional about and disappointed about the fact that they didn't cope with the way that Leeds played. That they'd spoken about it, they'd come up with a plan to counter it, and they weren't able to fulfill it. But if you talk about out-and-out chances, they stayed in the game, and he admitted that they were in the game. But Fulham were downfall again was because of their inability to find the back of the net. There's more than enough chances. Jermaine, you would have scored a couple tonight if you were playing for Fulham.
And perhaps that's the root of the frustration.
That's their problem. They could have scored and should have scored probably 3 or 4 goals today, but they didn't because they're not ruthless in front of goal, which is a problem obviously for Scotty Parker. You're talking about a team that have scored 23 goals this season in the Premier League, and that's unfortunately relegation kind of form. You don't want that, especially when you're doing so well in terms of your defensive aspect. And you could see Scott Parker's frustration there during that interview. He was so annoyed that the boys didn't follow a simple instruction in his mind. And I can pretty much guarantee he's gone back in that change room now and let loose. Nobody's safe. I don't think anybody's safe tonight.
Well, Fulham are trying to be safe in the Premier League. But, I mean, you talked about relegation form over the course of the season. Actually, over recent weeks, Fulham had been performing really well. They've been one of the better performing sides in the Premier League. They now find that, I know Brighton and Newcastle play tomorrow, so they'll move on to 29 points. But Fulham have now played 30, and they're still a couple of points from safety. How much more difficult does their task look at the end of that 90 minutes?
Well, it always, you know, if you go another 90 minutes without getting any points and you've got fewer games to play, it's always then going to be more difficult. Goes without saying. You know, it is what it is. Fulham are in the position they are because at the moment they deserve to be, after 30 games, in the bottom 3. But they've still got 8 games to turn their season around. And it's happened in the past. Teams have come from nowhere. The way Fulham have been playing over the last couple of weeks, today wasn't their best performance. However, they still, like we said, could have got something out of the game and probably should have got, at the very least, a draw. They've got everything to play for. There's some really tough games there, no doubt about it. But teams in the past have won games that nobody expected them to win. And it's about that momentum again, continuing the momentum. Now they've got to pick themselves up and find momentum again. For a while now, we've been looking at that last game of the season against Newcastle United. That it could come down to that. It could, but they don't want to rely on just that one game. I think they're going to have to win at least 3 games, or at least accumulate 9 points out of those remaining 8 games to have a chance of staying in the league, which is doable. But it's kind of not doable when you're in a bad run of